Thank you for joining us today at Homestead for Life. My name's Laura, and today we are going to be making our own seed starting mix and our own potting soil. Our supplies today are compost. We're using rabbit manure from our rabbitry, but you can use whatever compost you choose. We're using perlite, vermiculite, and peat moss. All of these, if I'd bought a bag of black cow compost, would have cost me $28.32. This is going to make us about $34 and change worth of seed starting mix, but we're also going to have about 3/4 of our peat moss left over, right? So it does save you a little bit of money, but you also get to mess with the ratios and find out what works for you and your plants. The first step that we are going to do is filter our compost. We want to get all the bigger chunks of mulch and whatnot, in our case wood chips, out of our compost. If you bought store-bought compost, it's going to have chunks of mulch and sticks and things in it that haven't broken down yet. So we made this screen. You can see a video of how to do that in the description. There'll be a link for it. But we are going to screen out the chunks of our compost mix so that we just have our compost, right? See, we caught all of our bigger chunks that we don't want. I've already screened out enough for this mix. For our seed starting mix, we want up to 4 scoops of your compost. Some people don't put compost at all. My scoops obviously are not all completely uniform. I'm just using this feed scoop because it's convenient, and when I bought them, they came in a pack of 2. So we're going to use our scoop, 4 scoops of black cow. We want 2 scoops of peat moss. And your compost may be different, but you will notice the rest of your ingredients are really dry. So before you're ever going to actually put these on your plants, you're going to add water. 1 scoop of our perlite and 1 scoop of our vermiculite, and then we're going to mix this up, add some water. Because these are so dry and have been for so long, if you put them straight on your plants or on your seeds, they're going to dry them out, which is absolutely the opposite of what you want. So we are going to add some water, stir it up again, and let it absorb all that water before we use it on our seeds and on our plants. All right? So this is our seed starting mix. We had 4 scoops of compost, 2 scoops of peat moss, 1 scoop each of perlite and vermiculite, and some water. And we stir it all up. Get it good and soggy. And that is our seed starting mix, as simple as that. Next, we're going to make potting mix. Potting mix does not have to be such a fine material because we don't have those tiny new baby seedling roots that are as sensitive. We're usually starting with slightly bigger plants, so we don't need to strain our compost for that, but you can if you would like to. So the ratio for that is 4 scoops of peat moss and only 2 scoops of our compost. That was about half a scoop. Alright, another about half a scoop. 4 scoops of peat moss. And then again, just 1 scoop each of our perlite and our vermiculite. And then the same thing, we're going to add water and we're going to stir it all together. until we get our potting mix. This is our seed starting mix, all mixed up and ready to go. We're ready to start our next batch of seeds. This one is our potting mix. It's still a little muddy, so we're going to let it dry out a little bit more, and then we can start repotting some plants. Now that we have our seed starting mix all ready to go, we are going to start planting some of our springtime seeds. So I'm going to spread this out in my trays, just like any other seed starting mix. The seeds I'm choosing to plant today, right at this moment, are kohlrabi, because they want to be out there just as soon as that frost is done, so I want them started. Kohlrabi are tiny little seeds, and the general rule of thumb is to plant your seeds about twice the depth of the size of the seed. It says to plant these, the package says plant them about 1/2 inch. They're tiny little seeds, so what we're going to do is just drop just one into each seed tray and sprinkle dirt on top. And that is all we are going to do. And that's it. We've made our seed starting mix. We've used our seed starting mix. And in a couple weeks we should start seeing our little seedlings.